Hello, and welcome to Guitar 1. So hopefully you went through the Music 1 and have an understanding now of what the key of C is, the scale that goes into the key of C, and a pattern from the guitar in which you can play that scale or any major scale. So we are going to now move on to chords. We are going to start and make our first chords. We are going to stay in the key of C so that things are familiar. And we talked about the key of C having a family of notes that we used, right? And we had to stay within those notes in order to have that sound good. Now we are going to also add in that the key of C has a family of chords that also you use and that will sound good together and make sure that the song that you're playing has good continuity to it and a good feeling to it. So what is a chord? That is the question. So a chord really is just, instead of playing one note at a time, which regularly does not happen, it does not regularly happen because it has a single note, it's a single sound, it has less volume. There are multiple reasons, but typically if you're going to be leading singing or singing along with the guitar as you play it, you're going to play chords. You're not going to play single notes. So what is a chord? A chord is just a group of notes that go together, right? And we talked about the notes in the key of C having numbers. The number one note was C, right? C, D, E, F, and G are the first five. So when you make a chord, the typical alignment is that you play the number 1, the number 3, and the number 5 note. So for the key of C, for the C chord, you would play a C, an E, and a G. And that would be a C chord, the first, third, and fifth notes that go with C. So there are a family of chords that go into the key of C, and those are C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, and B minor. Don't freak out about the minor part. That'll get explained when we start shaping the chords. And today we are only going to be learning C, F, G, and A minor because those are the common chords that you would see for the key of C in a modern song. So again, we're going to look at how to play those chords. We're going to look at what the first, third, and fifth note are for each of those chords, and we're going to learn how to structure them on guitar. All right, here we go. We're going to start in the key of C with the number 1 chord, which would be the C chord. First thing we're going to do is we're going to find C just like we did when we were playing the scale, right? So we have second string down, 1, 2, third fret in. That is a C. Okay, and we said that we wanted 1, 3, and 5. So we know that that's 1, 1, 2, 3. So here we have a 1 and a 3. So that right there is a very simple chord, just playing the first and the third. And you could move that around. You could play just those 2 strings. Right? And that sounds interesting. So we want to continue on, and we want to find not just the first and third, but the fifth. So what is the fifth? We have C, D, E, F, G. So G is the fifth. So we have 1 and 5. But we can't play the third and the fifth because they're on the same string, right? So it doesn't matter, it would only play the fifth. So we need to find a different G. So we're going to look for a G. We have C, we have E, and then the next string open is a G. Okay? So we can just play those 3 strings, C, E, G, and we have our full chord. But it's really kind of hard to play just 3 strings. Like if you're in a song and you're strumming to a rhythm, it's hard to hit only 3 strings. So what do? We need to say, well, what else can we add in there? Since we know that the notes repeat and just get higher, but they have the same names, how can we find more notes. So we're going to take a look. Let's see. We have C, we have E, that's open G. So the fifth string down from the top, second string up, when it's open, it is a B. Well, what comes after B? We have B, we have C. So we have another C. We have a C here, and we have a C here. And we have an E, and we have a G on the open string. So what does that sound like? Okay, that's pretty good. And then if we think about what our number 3 note is, an E, the very last string here, when it's open, is an E. So we have an open G on the third string. We have an open E here on the first string. So we can play that note as well without putting our fingers on it. So we are going to put a finger there, there, and there. Okay? So first fret, second string, second fret, fourth string, third fret, fifth string. And we're going to play just the bottom 5 strings. And that is a C chord. Now, if you're in a song and you happen to hit the very top string or the 6th string here, that's okay, because that is also an E. We try not to hit it because it's open and it's loud and it's low, so it tends to cover up that first C. And so, but if you're playing a song and you happen to hit it, nobody's going to notice. That is the C chord. So we said that when you are finding chords to go in a key, you typically want to play the first chord, which was C, and the fourth chord, and the fifth chord. So the fourth chord, let's see what that's going to be. We find our C, we go C, D, E, F. So the fourth chord is going to be an F chord. Okay, we're going to build this one from the lowest string up, right? So the bottom string open is an E. So what comes after E? F comes after E. So there's the first and number 1 note that we're going to want. We have an F, and then the next one is a B string, right? Which is a C if we play here. Now, in order to make an F chord, we want to look at our F. Let's go back. C, D, E, F. We want to look at that being our number 1 note. So we have 1, 2, 3, right? Or F, F, G, A. So we need to find an A for our next note. So we have an F, and we just played that A right there. So we have an F and an A. And we also have this open string, the second string down is an A. Okay, so all of those are going to work into this chord. And then we also want to play the fifth. So if we start on F again, we go F, G, A, B, C. Oh, look at that. C is one of the notes. And we know that there's a C here because this is a B string, right? So we have F, we have a C, we have an A. So we're going to play those 3 just like that. Okay. So with just the bottom 3 strings, we now have our fifth, our third, our fifth, our third, and our first. Okay, so we need to see what can we do to not just be playing the bottom 3 strings. So we are looking for either an F, an A, or a C. So if we come up here, we're already playing the bottom 3 strings. So the 4th string up right here, that is a D string when it's open. So we go D, E, F. Okay, so we have another F right here. So we can play the bottom 4 strings. Okay. And that is how I play an F. Okay? And that's, if you look it up online, you'll see that a lot of times that's what they call an F chord, and they silence the top 2 strings. They only play the bottom 4. Well, what happens if you hit the 5th string? That's an A string open, and we know that A is also in our chord structure. So if you happen to hit that 5th string, it's going to be okay. It's going to sound fine. What about the very top string? That is an E. That would not sound good, right? I'll play it. You don't want that sound. That's not part of an F. So the only way that you can remedy that is if you turn it into a bar chord and you push down all the strings here. So you're pushing down these 2 just like we were before with 1 finger, except we're moving that finger up and we're even pushing down that string. And then we play that and that and that. And that would be all strings in a key of C, because this is also a C. But that's really hard to do, especially for a beginner. I wouldn't try and do it. And so anyway, I wouldn't recommend it. Sounds pretty good, but for starting out, what you want to do is take your first finger, push down the first 2 strings at the 1st fret. Second finger goes 2nd fret, 3rd string. 3rd finger goes 4th string, 3rd fret. And you play those 4 strings. That is an F chord. So we have located the C chord, which is the 1 chord. We have located the 3rd chord, which is F. I'm sorry, the 4th chord, which is F. And now we need to find what the 5th is. So again, we're going to go back to C. C, D, E, F, G is our 5th. So our 5th one is G, and we're going to start at the top this time. This is an E string, so E, F, F sharp, G. There's our 1 note right there. And if we just play that, 1, 2, 3, we have a 3 right there. Right? So now we need a 5th. What would the 5th be? G, A, B, C, D. Well, it just so happens that the 1, 2, 3, 4th string from the bottom is a D when you play it open. So just like the C chord, where we could play 3 strings, we can do the same thing just by moving our fingers up here. And we can play 3. We can have the 1st, 3rd, and 5th right there. But again, we don't want to try and play just 3 strings. So we're going to continue looking and see what we have. Well, the 1, 2, 3rd string up, we talked about this before, is a G. And we used it in the C chord, right? Because G was in the C chord and we left it open. Well, in a G chord, obviously you want a G, so you can leave that open as well. So 1, 2, 3. That's our top 4 strings. So we have a 1st, 3rd, 5th, and 1st again. And then let's see what a G. We have 1, 2, G, A, B, right? So we could have another B, or we could look for another D. Okay, so we have a B string right here that's also open. So now we can play just by holding down the top 2 strings here. We can play 5 strings. And then this is an E, and it's same as this string, and we know that there's a G right here, right? E, F, F sharp, G. So we can take and play G, B, D, G, B, B, and E. So that is a standard G chord. Okay, and then a modification of that is on the B string, the second string up. If you play, let's see, it's a B, C, C sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. Well, D is also one of it's our fifth note, right? So when I play a G, I like to use all fingers. So this one's not just hanging out there by itself. I can put it down. And that is the way that I play a G chord. Now, it also allows you to stay on a G chord, but change your sound a little bit just by lifting this finger up and down. It's a very slight change in sound, but it is different just because with the finger up, you're using a third, and with the finger down, you're using a fifth note in the chord. So again, let's build that again. We have our E, top E string. We are going to play the third fret, which is a G. Second string down, we're going to play second fret, which is a B. The next string is open, which is a D. The next string down is a G. We're going to leave that open. The fifth string down, you can either leave it open or you can close it on the third fret. Either way. And then our last string, we're going to hold down also on the third fret. And that is a G chord. All right, so we only have one chord left to build, and that would be the sixth chord. So that sixth chord, let's see what it's going to be. We're going to start on C. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A. So our sixth note in the C scale is an A. Okay, so let's look at what notes would be in A. Let's find an A. We're going to go E, F, G, A. Okay, so we're going to start here and we're going to play our pattern. A, B, C sharp, D, and E. So an A chord is going to have A, C sharp, and E. But now we have a problem. C sharp is not in the key of C. So this is why we're going to use a minor chord instead of a major chord to keep ourselves in the key of C when we're playing chords. So what does that mean, a minor chord? All our chords so far have been major, which means they follow the standard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So a minor, the only difference is that we take our third note and we move it down 1/2 step. So the C sharp is going to become a C. So for a minor, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have A, C, and E. Again, the only difference between a major and minor is that the third, which in our pattern is here, gets moved 1 fret down. Okay, from here to here. So we have A, C, and E. Those are the notes we're looking for to make an A minor chord. Our top string here is an E. Okay, that's in there. But we're, again, because it's low and loud, we're only going to play it when we play it by accident. The next string is an A. All right, that's our number 1 note. All right, so we have an A, open string A. The next string is a D string, and we know that D and then E, and guess what? E is our 5th note. So we have a first and a 5th. Let's keep going. The next string is a G string. So we have G open, we have A. So now we have an A on this string, an E, and an A. So if we put our fingers like this on the 2nd fret, we have A, E, A. The next string here is a B string, right? And we know that it goes B, C. So there is the C that we're looking for. So if we play this E, this A, and this C, we have an A minor. Let's look at the very last string, because it would be hard to strum a chord and not hit the last string. So that is also an E. Untouched, it's an E, so we don't have to worry about it. It's part of the chord structure. So we're going to take, and we're going to put 2 fingers here on the 2nd fret, and then we're going to take 1 finger and put it on the 1st fret here on the B string, and that is an A minor. Okay? Pretty simple chord. All right, we have learned in the key of C how to make the 1st, 4th, 5th, and 6th chords, or C, F, G, and A minor. So now we're going to try and move from one chord to another. So we're going to look at, well, how does that look? What does that look like? So we're going to start on C, which is our number 1 chord. And then we're going to go F, and then back to C. Okay, and that's, it looks pretty simple on camera, but when you start out, it's going to look more like this. Okay, that's not bad. You have to start out slow and then work up, and you'll learn what becomes muscle memory, and you'll be able to shape the chords faster, not because you're thinking about where your finger's going, but because your hand has memorized what F and C and G are, right? So we have C, F, G, or we can go C, G, C, G. We can go F, G, F, G. We can go C, A minor, C. That's probably the easiest change right there, because you're only moving 1 finger, just like that, to A minor. Okay, so what you have to do is just practice going from one chord to another. And in order to facilitate that and make it more interesting, we would like to play a song, right? I mean, because just sitting around doing that over and over again gets boring pretty quick. All right, so the song that I chose for this lesson is Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee, or otherwise the music part is known as Ode to Joy. It's in C. It only uses the 4 chords that we've learned in this lesson, and this is how we're going to play it. Nice and slow to start. So if you want to sing along instead of playing along with the way I do it, you can do it this way, even this slowly. Joyful, joyful, we adore you, God of glory, Lord of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before you, opening to the sun above. Melt the clouds of sin and sadness, drive the dark of doubt away. Giver of eternal gladness, fill us with the light of day. So basically, you can work your way up to faster speeds. I do have it posted already on this YouTube channel, this song that you could play along with. It's in C, it's this arrangement. And anyway, this is the way that I would normally play it. I believe that concludes the end of lesson 1, the chords for the key of C. For practice, just practice changing chord to chord. One thing to do is just to count to 10, just back one chord, the next chord, 1, each time you change 1, 2, 3, 4, and then switch up from chord to chord. And that, I know, can get boring pretty quickly. So also try playing the Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee, or another song. If you look up a song and find one in the key of C, you can play that. If you have questions, you can contact me and ask, and I will do my best to answer them. So I do have an email attached to my YouTube account if you want to contact me. Anyway, thank you for following along, and we will move on to a different key for the next lesson.